friends, welcome back to Farm Girl Diaries. It's the end of May and I haven't done a garden tour in I think about 3 weeks, and I thought I would do both a flower garden tour and a vegetable tour because there is so much just gorgeousness happening. So this is just going to be kind of sit back with your coffee or your tea and let's walk around the garden and look at everything that's blooming. My pink petunia isn't doing too hot. Actually kind of looks like my pink petunia might be going purple. I don't know. We'll see. And then this is the same arrangement. These flowers are looking beautiful. I'm obsessed. They were a clearance flower that I got, so I'm excited. And then I went to a plant swap this weekend and I got this bad boy for free. This is a Wandering Jew and I'm loving it. So I am trying to it was super long. Both of these were super long. So I am trying to root it to kind of make it fill in this basket more. But if you didn't know, especially like a lot of, I don't even know what this is, if it's a pothos or whatnot, but they have these nodules here, like the whole way up the plant. Those are roots and you can root them. So all you have to do is I just have some sitting in soil. Like this piece here is here. I just cut off from that area there. I cut it and I put it in soil. And so all of these, if you give them the chance, they will form roots. So it's a great way to propagate your own plant. So we'll see by the end of summer what he's looking like. He doesn't look that great. He doesn't look that great. He looked better when I brought him home. So maybe it's just a shock. But they're really pretty plants. I'm hoping he comes and he fills this whole pot in. And then I just got this plant, which I am so excited. I think this plant is gorgeous with a cat, what's it called? A cattail? Something like that. But I think just this, the coloring on these leaves is just stunning. Love it. And then my ferns are starting to come back. So I gave both this fern and that fern a haircut, but they're both coming back. And then this is exciting. These are canna lilies that I thought I left in the ground over winter, and I thought they completely rotted, but they're coming back. So that's two of my favorite. I think they're my favorite. The leaves actually don't look like they're my favorite, but either way, two orange cannas. And then this is a lilac that I transplanted from my mom's lilac a couple years ago. And this is the first year that it's actually done beautiful things. And then look at that guy. Like, I hope this shows up on camera just how pretty this puppy is. And I'm loving it because you have some that are yellow, and then you have some that are pink, and they're like yellow tinged with pink. I'm obsessed with how pretty. How pretty. It almost looks like it's tie-dyed. Like, look at those. They almost look like they've been like dipped in ink. They're so pretty. I don't think the camera is capturing how pretty they are, but they are so pretty. Along with, look at this guy. Look at that. So this is one of the few plants that was here when I moved in, and I'm so terrified of ruining it. I'm really cautious when I prune it, but I am actually really excited. This is going to be, this whole section needs pruned, and this is going to be a fun, even activity for me. I actually really love pruning roses. Like tonight, it's a beautiful night, and I like to just set up my ladder, get a nice cup of tea, and prune away, and I actually have so much fun. I get ticked off when I get stabbed by the thorns, but it's honestly one of my favorite activities. So I'm trying to wait for this puppy to die back and stop blooming, and then I'm going to go in and do a prune. But They smell so good. They smell so good, and they're just so pretty. So pretty. And then our hanging baskets. The hanging baskets are doing pretty good. I'm hoping they fill in and make that umbrella, or not umbrella, but that ball that I'm looking for. But I still think they look really cool. Now we're gonna move to the backyard. And so I thought I was done planting out my crops, my flower pots and all my flowers and stuff. I planted out almost every flower pot that I had. Turns out I'm not done. I just won this one, and then that one, and then this cutie little birdhouse at an auction. All three were $1. So I don't quite know what I'm gonna put in them. But like for $1, they're in really nice shape. They're big. Again, I'm comparing it to the size of my head. If you've been with me for any period of time, you know I compare everything to the size of my head like a weirdo. So I don't actually think I'm gonna put flowers in these because I think I have enough flowers. I'm really kind of feeling another herb. Like so this pot since the day I brought it home has been my rosemary pot, and it's growing this beautiful rosemary. I kind of want to make this pot another rosemary. I don't know. So I am going to, I think, just go to Lowe's or go to the nursery, and check out the herbs, because I'm really kind of just going to want herbs in both of these. And then I'm just going to leave them on the step. So I have my rosemary there. I'm trying to think I might move my fig tree and put them on each step. I don't know. We'll see. But then over here is where I had, I don't know what it is. I had the pot with the cattail and that really beautiful variegated leaf with the orange flower. I had that sitting here. Wait, there's my girl. I had it sitting here and I really liked it. It was really pretty. But I think it was too hot, too much sun. That plant did not like being here. It just kept wilting. So I moved it to the front porch, and it's done so much better on the front porch. So I moved my weeping willow. This is a curly weeping willow. I've moved this over here, and I actually do really like that, kind of hide in my grill. And then I have that pretty little pot there that's kind of mounting up. One of them has died. The one in the back appears to have died, but these guys are doing great. And then my fig tree. Look at this fig tree. This fig tree is doing awesome. So not only is my fig tree doing awesome, but my fruit trees are doing awesome. So this is my, too old to get down. This is my peach tree. It is, as you can see, doing awesome. So I accidentally have 3 peach trees now. So I had 2. And which one was it? No, this one. Let me show you. First, let's compare. So look at this peach tree. How big, and it has like multiple stems. Looking great, right? Let's come over here. I have to burn all of this stuff. I need a good burn day. I haven't had one yet. And then look at this peach tree. So this peach tree was the one that was ordered at that same time. And you can see how far behind it was. So the one peach tree and both apple trees opened up and started growing, and we're doing great. That one peach tree didn't show a single sign of life. I kept looking, I kept waiting. Both the apple and the peach trees were like fully leafed out, and this one was not. So I went back to the Etsy seller. I asked her to send me a new tree. I offered to return this one. She very kindly sent me a new tree, and what I did is I took the tree out. The tree was in that, where is it? Where are ya? Right there. The tree was in that pot there, and so I wanted to because I knew that I had the apple trees in the 2 red pots, so I knew I wanted to keep the peach trees in the other 2 plastic pots. So I took the old peach tree out. I put the new peach tree in. Again, I can't even see it against all this greenery right there. And so I took the old tree out, and when I took the old tree out, it was actually rooted. So I'm like, well, it's rooted, so it has to be alive. So I threw it in just a junk spare pot that I had, and didn't you know it, it started leafing out. And it is actually the exact same place. Let me show you the new tree. So this is the replacement tree. And this one, and now this one are at the exact same place. So I don't know if it had anything to do with me yanking it out. I don't know. But I did contact, I felt so bad. I contacted the Etsy seller and I said, hey, what do you know? The tree that I had you replace, it's alive. And I offered to pay, and unfortunately, I wasn't able to pay her due to Etsy's terms of service. So if anyone's looking for fruit trees, I have a hookup. I told her I would buy all my fruit trees from her from now on, and I would send people there. So if you need fruit trees, let me know. I can tell you where to go. I have 100% success rate, and now I have five fruit trees, which is exciting. So before we move into the patio garden, can we just take a minute to acknowledge how beautiful that rose is? And that rose back there is just kind of starting, and then this rose. I mean, look. I think roses are probably one of my favorite annuals. I mean, not annuals, perennials. I love tulips. I love ranunculus. But this year, these roses are really hitting me hard. And then here I have, this is a mock orange. The smell of a mock orange. Okay, they don't actually smell yet. They should, but they don't actually smell yet. Normally the smell of a mock orange is fantastic. And I love to just kind of cut these in big long stems and put them in a milk bottle, and just this green and white is and just this green and white against like a clear milk bottle or a mason jar. It's a fantastic arrangement. I don't know what this weed is. I just pulled it out because it's growing in my patio. I think I need to but it smells. It's not mint. I don't know. I think I need to research what this plant is because it smells really good. And if it's, I don't know what it is. We're going to research it. I can't grow on my patio, so it needed to come out, but maybe I can replant it. Now let's just do a quick glance. It actually doesn't look so great. I need to burn all that stuff. I have not had a good day to burn anything. It's been windy, but look at this blueberry plant that is just growing blueberries. And Sawyer's head. So that blueberry plant, I think that's 6 years old. And blueberries typically, depending on the blueberry you get, some blueberries need to have a partner, some are self-pollinating. I bought 2 that would need each other, and one died instantly. But that one's doing great, and that one has given me more blueberries every single year. So I'm doing something right. Okay, so we have it actually looks like a jungle, but I think in the best possible way, and I don't think that's necessarily going to show up on camera. I do have like that weed right there I need to come and snip, but that is a dahlia that overwintered last year, which I'm super excited about. And then my beautiful salvia is on its way out. This is my marigold row. I do have another tree I need to chop, but my marigolds are they're starting to come in. But then look at that sage. I mean, that purple plant is a sage. I swear, if you're not growing sage, you need to be growing sage. This is the sage's 3rd year, and it is absolutely massive. And it's never flowered for me before, but it's flowering this year, which is amazing. And the bees and the hummingbirds have loved this plant. So it is absolutely stunning. The entire goal of this patio garden was I really wanted a perennial space, but I really wanted an herbal space, like a medicinal space. And I'm slowly getting there, and as I take, each year I learn more. So actually the next video that I'm going to shoot is I'm going to shoot a video about all the herbal medicines and all that stuff that I have on this very small property. But sage is absolutely one. Sage is a great herbal medicine. It's obviously a great culinary herb, and I don't even care if I use it that often. That plant is gorgeous. So I'll give you a close-up of that in a little bit when we kind of work our way to the other side. But like I said, I wanted this to kind of be like a perennial, allow things to kind of do their own thing and not really worry about it too much. So I'm actually loving the wildness of this space. It looks It looks, I think, so much better in person. Get like a glimpse of it here. So you got the purple chives, you got the sage, and then you got the roses in the background. Again, I think it looks better in person, but here we are. So I have a really pretty, I don't actually know what they're called, a really pretty flower there. And then we come in here, this is my herb garden, and I've used this as a lettuce tower before, like planted lettuce in it. But I'm using it as an herb garden this year. I do need to come in and pull some weeds. The weeds are never ending, but I have 3 basils that are doing pretty good. I picked up a major jam this year. I've never grown this before. I've never grown this before, but it smells really good, and I think it's going to be a great culinary herb. And then back here, my dill is doing fantastic. My dill is doing fantastic. And then my chives are actually getting ready to kind of die back. My beautiful purple heads. These are one of my favorite flowers. I actually think I need to make the point of getting more chive plants and kind of just sprinkling them around the garden, because I love when they bloom like this. And they bloom, this is one of the first things that blooms for me, and I think they're just stunning. I can't get enough of how pretty they are. And I think especially in this bottom garden, if I just had pops of like purple balls around, I think that'd be fun. Okay, so far we don't have too much else going on over here. We do have my poppies. These are poppies that I grew last year and that overwintered. I know in some places like California, especially orange poppies are perennial. I don't know if they're perennial for me, or we did have such a mild winter, but I'm not complaining. I have poppies that are opening. Now these open during the day and they close at night. So right now they're closed because it is evening. The sun is kind of going down, but they're gorgeous. And so I'm loving this like purple and orange contrast. And then you kind of just look up and see the pink and the white. There's just so many colors going on. And then I've already talked about this plant, which I'm loving. This is a carnation, but I'm loving the blue-greenness of it. But you can see down there, my carnations are starting to open. So I have a ton of buds on here. So I will say, I got that packet from Lowe's. It was a packet of seeds, carnation seeds. The first year they don't bloom, they're biperennial. They bloom the second year. The seed packet had them looking like a typical carnation, what you think of a carnation as. However, all they do is put off, which is pretty, this little red flower. Now this one, I have a couple of different plants here, so I have red, white, and pink in this whole space. So I don't know if I'm doing something wrong, that it's not kind of getting the fullness of a typical carnation, or if that's just what it does. I don't know. But anywho, I'm not complaining. I'm loving the plant as it is, and then I love when it flowers. It does provide color for a good chunk of the summer, probably like a solid month and a half to 2 months before those petals kind of start dying back. So that's just gonna again add another level of color here. I don't know how long the sage is gonna bloom. I feel like I'm kind of on the tail end of that sage, but if that sage could stay purple all summer, oh, I would be in heaven. So that's what I have going on so far. Oh, right there I have a spiderwort, and there I have a spiderwort. They put off really pretty purple flowers, but they only open in, well, they actually open in the coolness, so they should be open now, but they're not, so I don't know. I have a tree I need to take down. See, there's so much work, and I need to do some of it. I'm not always on all of my chores. So I have a couple of dahlias. Here is another canna lily that has overwintered, so that is super exciting. So I have a canna, I have a dahlia. Right there I have another poppy. I have a calendula in here, I have zinnias, I have sunflowers, I have a dahlia over there, I put a pickling cucumber right there. Over here, right there, I have a lemon balm. No, not a lemon balm, holy basil. And there I have a hollyhock. Here I have beautiful lilies that are getting ready to open. So it's actually really hard because I have a lot of open space, as you can see. You can see the ground, and I really want this to be full and bursting with beautiful flowers. But I do have a lot of seeds in there, so I'm really hoping that things grow. And as things grow and I kind of maybe see where I've left some holes, I'll go in and I'll maybe reseed, maybe buy an annual plant, something like that, to kind of get that to be as bursting with color as we can. I'm going to show you now the front of the garden bed. There's not too much going on right now, but I thought it'd be good so we could see where we are coming from, and hopefully by the end of summer where we are headed. So again, I don't know what these are called. These are gorgeous little flowers. I have a red and a white one, and then I have a snapdragon that overwintered. Snapdragons for me seem to be a perennial. Right there I have a hollyhock that's coming, and then this here is a lily, not a lily, a lilac that will hopefully come back next year. This is a daylily. Oh, I didn't even notice I have all of this. Lots of grass that has to be picked. Not too much. My ornamental grass is coming in. That puppy is on its way out. That puppy is on its way in. This rose died. I don't know why. It did start putting off growth this year, but it died. So I'm going to re-ripping that out. That was my blue tea rose that I got last year. And I'm going to be putting a new rose in here. I just don't know what yet. I don't even remember what all I have. This is something. What are you? I don't remember what this is. This is something. We'll see what that does. That's I think that's a zinnia, right? I think that's a zinnia. But anywho, I have zinnias and sunflowers, and I have one cosmo. I have more cosmos. I don't know what happened to them, so I'm hoping they show up. So there's a dahlia that overwintered all the way back to the back. So I have a lot of stuff in here. I don't quite remember what all I have in here, but I have a lot of stuff. That actually could even be a weed, for all I know. I have no idea. I have no idea. I have a lot of things in that bed, so we'll see how that bed does as we move through the summer. So we're coming into the garden now. Now it's a little messy in here, but right back there I have a dahlia, and then right in this whole space, look. See, right in this whole space, these are asparagus fronds, and you want to let them kind of go to seed. And you can see they're kind of starting to go to seed. But right there is a brand new asparagus. That would make a perfect garden snack. And then we kind of go, it's the end of my asparagus season. We kind of can come back here, see some more. Lots of asparagus. It is this asparagus' first year in this space, so you don't want to harvest actually too much. You can harvest some, but you definitely don't want to harvest all of your asparagus, and you don't want to harvest the really small ones. So that one that is up is a little on the small side, so you want to let some of your asparagus so it can go to seed. So I could have harvested, all of this, but I wouldn't have any of this left to go to seed, so I would have a stronger patch next year. They say asparagus takes about 3 years to get established, and you can buy crowns that are older. That's basically if you're starting from seed, like, what the plant has on it now. If I'm starting from here, then it could take 3 years to get established. But you can buy crowns, which is what I buy. I normally buy 2-year crowns. However, it still takes a couple of years for your asparagus to get established before you can actually go in and kind of do a hard harvest. So I think I harvested probably 8 to 10 asparagus spears from all of my different patches this year, maybe a little bit more than that. But I left a lot of it because I really want to focus on kind of it going to seed and just building up that patch. What we are not focusing on letting go to seed, though, is our strawberry tower. Our strawberry tower is doing so well. There are so many strawberries starting to come on this tower. So I have had success growing strawberries before. However, I had great success growing them in the ground, but in the ground I definitely struggle with pests, birds, rabbits, squirrels. So I'm loving this tower up here. I'm loving how many strawberries it holds. It holds just shy of 50, probably about 40, I think, something like that. I came through and I fertilized these strawberries once with fish fertilizer. I'm going to do that about every 2 weeks, fertilize with some fish fertilizer, and that'll just help keep encouraging the plants to set more fruit, set more blossoms, and just kind of keep going, because I am so excited for more strawberries. So I've already decided that next year I am going to get a second tower that's going to live in this hole. So you're going to kind of walk in to the garden and you're going to have 2 strawberry towers right off the bat. So you can kind of come into the garden, pick a snack, and kind of walk around and eat your strawberries. And then there's asparagus. You can have strawberries and asparagus. Perfect garden snack. My vine and green beans, don't mind all the weeds. Real gardens have weeds. My vine and green beans just sprouted yesterday. So I have 3 so far on that side, and actually you can see I have another one coming right there. And then we turn around, I have just the one so far on this side. So those beans will completely fill this arch, and it'll give me so many beans. And it will make it such a pretty entrance to the garden. Okay, so I'm not going to go into detail with every single thing that we have planted. I'm kind of going to give you a quick overview. So I have lettuce growing in here, which is doing phenomenal. Look how great that lettuce looks. I've been harvesting off of it. This is the mesclun mix, which is one of my favorite mixes to grow. And then my peas are going up the trellis, and I do have to help the peas. They don't sometimes know how to do it, so you do got to help them a little bit. And then coming over, this bed is a flower bed, so we have some sunnies and zinnias. There we have a nasturtium. And then if we spin around, here is our onion bed, and our onion bed down there. And our onions have grown so much. I do need to come in here and weed, because onions do not like weeds. But I kind of had, the weeds were too small for me to actually weed, so I kind of had to let them get a little bit bigger. So I think this could be a good weekend task. But we also need to come back in and fertilize. Onions are heavy nitrogen feeders, so I want to give them another feed-in of nitrogen. But they're doing really good. Here I have an echinacea plant with 2 volunteer sunflowers, and then I had a extra pickling cucumber, so I threw a pickling cucumber there. I had a TP trellis that I used to grow my peas on, that I really like, but it's not actually like a super useful trellis. So I decided I'm going to put the pickling cucumbers on that, because I think that would look kind of cool. So we're going to spin around. We're back at the entrance. We're going to spin around, kind of looking into the garden. So we still have our pond here. Pond is doing fantastic. I'm loving it. I have a lot of birds that are coming to it that are actually swimming in the pond. I think I still need to work on the water in the pond, because my water hyacinth I had, I think is dying. So I need to figure out the water in the pond, but I think that's going to be a later problem, like maybe a next month problem. I kind of just want to get everything in and kind of take a deep breath, because I'm enjoying this pond exponentially more than I ever even thought possible. I have the sprinkler, the fountain in the pond, and the fountain's really great because it is a solar fountain, and it's a great fountain. The only thing I'm going to say about this is it does not hold a charge whatsoever. So down here I have the solar board, and if I'm even standing in front of the board and blocking the direct sunlight, it does not go. So if I want to, I can move this board to either side of the fountain based on where the sun is to get that continuous fountain flow. So I will definitely move it when I have company over to make sure that the fountain is in all of its glory. But I'm obsessed with this pond. Absolutely obsessed. And then just beyond it, I have my kale. I'm kind of upset I did this. I didn't realize I was doing it. I have 2 dinosaur kale side by side. I wanted to kind of mix them up, so it was more intrigue and prettiness, but oh well. And then going forward, we have a sunflower. And then we have our tomatillos and a tamarillo in this bed here. Tomatillo, tamarillo. And then I planted, which is not up yet, my okra in that corner. And behind the sunflower, I have some okra. Okay, it's messy, lots of grass, but the earth likes to grow grass. So, we're going to ignore it. Right here is a volunteer potato. There's actually a couple. There's one there. It looks to be there's a second one. This is this potato's third year. I planted potatoes in this entire row 3 years ago. And I've been harvesting from this same spot 3 years. I don't actually think I'm leaving potatoes behind. I'm not doing it on purpose, but hey, free potatoes, free potatoes. So these are actually Idaho bacon potatoes. I don't have any Idaho bacon potatoes planted in my potato row. So I'll take the few russets that I get, or I think I just had two different potatoes. They're like they're Idaho bacon potatoes. They're big russet potatoes. I keep saying they're two different things, or are they the same? I don't know. But these are really good bacon potatoes. It's like a good old baked potato. But in this row this year, I just planted my peppers. And they're still a bit too small to see. But I did plant them pretty close to each other. But they go the whole way down that row. And if we come down here, I have 3 eggplants. 1, 2, 3. I just planted in a triangle. But look, so they're in shock. They'll bounce back, but I just planted them. But look at this broccoli and cabbage row. And then look what I found. My broccoli is starting to head up. My bigger ones are starting to head up. Look at that one. So that is exciting. And then my cabbage in the middle. So that broccoli and cabbage is doing really, really good. I've already been thinking about it, and I'm going to try to do so much better this year with getting a fall garden in. So the broccoli and cabbage, there's another lettuce bed there, which is doing fantastic. And then my onion beds, they're going to be done about mid-July to end of July. So I'm already rethinking about when I yank these puppies out of the ground, I'm going to put in beets and carrots. I might do another round of broccoli. I'm probably going to do another round of lettuce. But I'm already kind of thinking these are the beds that I'm going to do my fall plants in. And then a lot of those plants, like my carrots, I overwinter my carrots all winter in place in the beds. I don't harvest them. So I just come out in the snow and pull them from the ground when I want fresh carrots. So a lot of these things I could actually kind of like let go farther into the cold weather than I could like my tomatoes and my peppers. So I'm already kind of thinking, and people make fun of you, or people make fun of me because they're like, Caitlin, you just got your summer garden and how are you thinking about the fall garden? And I'm like, but you have to think about these things because it's going to happen so fast. Okay, this is the tomato bed. This is going to look wildly different in just a few weeks. My tomatoes though are starting to really grow. I mean, you got to go down in there quite a bit to see them, but they have greened up a ton. They have a slight pest pressure, I'm noticing, but they have greened up a ton and they are starting to get pretty tall. So I'm trying so hard to stay on top of my thistle. I'm struggling, but I'm trying. So I need to I did that half of the garden yesterday. I need to come back and do this half of the garden later this week and just pull some more thistle, try to stay on top of it as much as we can. And then here there's a tiny little Brussels sprout that I planted after the fact, but my Brussels sprouts here, there was a Brussels sprout there, it kept getting eaten, so I stopped replanting it. And then it's actually funny, if you look down the row, that's the biggest Brussels, and they get progressively smaller. I don't really know why, but they get progressively smaller. And then we have our zucchini tucked into the weeds. So you can see right here, I got to get rid of all of this. I didn't even notice this until right now. So you will see, I don't have a great fence. I have my dream fence picked out. I know exactly how I want the fence. I want a picket fence around this garden. I know this. But I don't have the money. I don't have the money for a fence. And it's okay. This garden produces so much food. Is someone going to look at it and judge it for being messy? Sure. Do you have a garden that doesn't have any weeds? If you have a garden with 0 weeds and you work a full-time job, then you can judge me. Until that point, you can't judge me. But all of this grass that I have growing along the fence, I'm actually 1,000% okay with, because I let my bunny out a lot. Now I'm not letting her out actually so much right now until some of my things get bigger, because I lost a tomato, and I think I lost a tomato to Figgy. I think she took a bite out of one instantly as soon as I let her out the other week. So I'm not letting her out so much right now, but when I do, this grass, even in the dead of winter when it's dead, it forms a good barrier to help persuade Miss Fig to not test that fence. So I'm okay with this. We can do some comparisons then. This is the teepee, and it is blooming. My flowers are blooming. You can see that little one over there. But I'm excited for them to hopefully fill this teepee. And then coming along, I have a volunteer. I think that's going to be a butternut squash. I'm not sure, but again, I'm here for it. I've planted all of our beans. So far, we have none of them germinated yet, which I didn't think they would, and that's okay. But look at this potato row. Look how many. I think just about every potato we put in is coming. Like that's gonna be so. I'm so excited to harvest these potatoes. It's gonna be so many. You can see some are behind. Like that one there is pretty small, whereas you have a good cluster there that's pretty full. But I think we're gonna have a great potato year. So I'm actually so incredibly excited to see just how many potatoes I get. I was nervous when I planted these potatoes because I was afraid. Like I put them on cardboard and I put dirt on the cardboard, but I probably only had about a solid 2 inches of dirt on that cardboard. So I was nervous they weren't going to grow, but Ruth's Stout method has you growing the potatoes on the dirt anyway. So I'm like, I feel like this is going to work. And I at least have greenery. It's too early to peek to see how my potatoes are actually doing, but they're at least growing greenery, which is a great sign. So the garden is still in its early stages, but so much is happening. My heart is just so happy. I just come out here, and I don't even always work, but I have my table here, which I just come out and I just sit and breathe in the beauty that is my garden. So even though it's weedy, and it's actually not that weedy. I do think it looks worse on camera. Are there weeds? Yes, there are. But I don't think it actually looks as bad. I don't know. Maybe I'm just biased. I'm still waiting on my chip drop delivery. I think I'm going to give that about another 2 weeks. And I'm going to stay on. I'm not going to take myself off of it. But if I don't get it, I'm going to go get a couple more bales of straw and then just lay straw down. And straw will be a great mulch. And that'll at least kind of even out the rows. And I don't want to technically use straw because I use straw on the beds. So it's going to blend in with the beds. And it's not going to look as nice as the wood chips would. But it'll work as a mulch to help keep these weeds down. So I think I might do that in a couple of weeks. But that is the garden for right now. So in the next couple of weeks, as the sun really starts kind of warming everything up, things are going to really start growing. And it's going to be fun to watch this garden just kind of bloom and blossom. And I have flowers tucked everywhere. I don't even know where I have flowers at this point. I know I need to go plant more. I like to succession sow my flowers, especially my sunnies. That just kind of ensures that you have flowers throughout the season. So as things I don't even know that I have, as things bloom, it's going to be beautiful. So I'm excited. I hope you're excited. Thank you guys for joining me and giving me a reason to walk around my garden on a Wednesday evening instead of, I don't know, doing house chores or laundry. Thank you guys for being my reason to put off all of my other chores. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, friends. Before I sign off, puppy, but then I wanted to show you the petunia tower is looking stunning. So that's starting to kind of, like, especially this guy, look at you, gorgeous. But it's starting to come into its own. And then this is the garden that we are still working on. But doing something. Bye again.